The Force, the mystical energy that defines Star Wars itself. It's in every movie, every battle, every moment where destiny collides with choice. It connects all living things, binds the galaxy together, and gives Jedi their power. But here's the uncomfortable question. What if it's not good at all? We've been told our whole lives that the Force is a struggle between light and dark, that it's about good versus evil, heroes versus villains, Jedi versus Sith. But the more you look at it, the less that actually makes sense. The Force doesn't pick sides. It fuels both equally. It gives as much strength to a Sith Lord as it does to a Jedi Master. And when you really think about that, it sounds a lot less like divine justice and a lot more like cosmic indifference. Every major event in Star Wars has the Force's fingerprints on it. The birth of Anakin Skywalker, the fall of the Republic, the rise of the Empire, all of it flows through the same invisible current. But the Force never intervenes, never protects the innocent, never stops the suffering. It simply watches. The Jedi call that balance, but balance doesn't mean peace. It means equilibrium. And equilibrium in nature often comes through destruction. Even the prophecy of the Chosen One isn't a promise. It's a threat. He will bring balance to the Force? Great, but balance to what? The galaxy wasn't asking for balance, it was asking for salvation. Yet the Force doesn't save, it resets. It gives life, takes it away, and starts over again, like a storm washing away whatever came before. The Jedi see that as destiny, but to the Force, destiny might just be damage control. And that's the terrifying beauty of it. The Force doesn't need to be good or evil, it just is. It's the tide that carries every soul, every planet, every war, and every moment of peace. Sometimes it saves you, sometimes it drowns you, but it never stops moving. And the more the galaxy tries to define it, the more it reminds us that it can't be defined. In this video, we'll explore whether the Force is truly good or evil, how it reflects the chaos and beauty of nature itself, and why the greatest truth in Star Wars might be that the Force was never meant to be understood. It was only ever meant to be survived. Every Star Wars story starts with the same line, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. But what if that galaxy's guiding power, the Force itself, wasn't what we think it is? The Jedi call it balance, the Sith call it power. But what if both are wrong? What if the Force isn't good or evil at all, it's just indifferent? From the very beginning, the Force has been framed as this mystical energy that connects all living things. Obi-Wan tells Luke it surrounds us and binds the galaxy together. But when you really look at how it behaves, it doesn't seem to care about who wins or loses. It gives power to both sides, lets both destroy each other, and then just keeps flowing. It's not justice, it's entropy with good PR. Take Anakin Skywalker. The Force literally created him, or at least that's what Palpatine implies when he talks about Darth Plagueis manipulating life. If that's true, the Force brought him into existence knowing he'd become Darth Vader, slaughter the Jedi, and plunge the galaxy into darkness. That's not the act of a moral god, it's the act of a system trying to balance its own chaos. Even the so-called prophecy of the Chosen One makes no sense when you think about it. He will bring balance to the Force. But what does that even mean? If the Jedi rule the galaxy, the Sith rise. If the Sith dominate, the Jedi return. Balance in Star Wars doesn't look like peace. It looks like perpetual suffering. It's like the Force can't help creating conflict just to maintain its own rhythm. You can see this pattern everywhere. Qui-Gon dies, Obi-Wan suffers, Yoda hides, Luke loses everything, Rey rises while Ben falls. It's a constant cycle of rise and ruin, and the Force never picks a side. It just resets the board. Maybe the Force isn't a teacher. It's a tide, and everyone who thinks they can control it is just another swimmer caught in the current. That's what makes the Jedi's arrogance so ironic. They think they serve the light side, but they're still servants of a system that uses them and discards them as needed. The Sith understand that the Force is power, but they mistake understanding for ownership. Neither side realizes that the Force doesn't love them. It tolerates them. Every so-called victory in Star Wars comes with an equal tragedy. The Jedi's golden age birthed the Sith's revenge. The Sith's empire birthed the rebellion's hope. It's beautiful and horrifying, The idea that cosmic balance means endless conflict. So maybe the Force isn't good or evil. It's balance in its cruelest form. Equal parts creation and destruction. A God that doesn't bless or curse, it just breathes. If we accept that the Force isn't moral, then every philosophy built around it starts to look flawed. The Jedi preach peace, serenity, and detachment. But in doing so, they deny half of what makes them human. They call emotion dangerous, but emotion is what gives life meaning. If the Force connects all living things, then cutting yourself off from emotion is cutting yourself off from life itself. The Sith, on the other hand, swing the pendulum the other way. They embrace emotion, passion, and desire, but they do it through domination. They think mastering the Force means controlling it, bending it to will. But in trying to own it, they become slaves to it. Both Jedi and Sith misunderstand the same truth. The Force isn't a weapon, it's a weather pattern. You can't control a storm, you can only learn to survive it. That's why characters like Qui-Gon Jinn stand out. He understood the Force as something wild and unpredictable. He didn't try to impose structure on it, he trusted it, even when it led him into conflict with the Council. He saw the Force as life itself, not as a set of rules to obey, but as a flow to follow. He was probably the closest anyone ever got to understanding it. And that brings us to the Mortis arc from the Clone Wars, maybe the best visual metaphor for this question. The father, the son, and the daughter, embodiments of balance, dark and light. When Anakin visits, the father doesn't tell him to destroy one side, he tells him to keep them in balance. But by the end, the balance collapses, proving that even divinity can't control the Force forever. It's a self-correcting paradox. Think about Yoda's final lessons to Luke in The Last Jedi. He tells him that failure is the greatest teacher, that the Force belongs to no one. It's a humbling idea. The Jedi don't own the light, and the Sith don't own the dark. The Force just is, and people project their morality onto it like children arguing over a toy they don't understand. Even the Force ghosts prove this point. They appear to guide, but they never interfere. They can whisper but not act. It's almost as if the Force allows them to exist as memory, but denies them influence. As if even after death it reminds them, the current moves on without you. Every Jedi and every Sith thinks they're serving destiny. But the truth is, they're all just ripples in something infinitely bigger. The Force isn't their servant, it's their cage. Maybe the real enlightenment isn't choosing the light or dark, but realizing that both are illusions of control. Here's where it gets really interesting. If the Force isn't good or evil, then what does morality even mean in Star Wars? If destiny itself doesn't care who wins, then maybe the point was never about victory. It was about awareness. Maybe the Force's greatest lesson is that no one's ever truly in control. Anakin's fall and redemption makes sense under this lens. The Force didn't punish him for becoming Darth Vader. It used him to restore equilibrium. His darkness destroyed the Jedi, but his light destroyed the Sith. It's balance through tragedy. The galaxy resets not because the Force rewards goodness, but because it reclaims balance. It's like nature wiping the slate clean after a wildfire. Rey and Ben's story mirrors the same principle. Rey channels both sides. Ben redeems himself through sacrifice, and the cycle starts again. Every generation thinks it's breaking the pattern, but the Force keeps rewriting it. The galaxy's morality shifts, but the current never stops. That's why the grey Jedi idea is so fascinating. It's not canon, but it's the only philosophy that feels truly honest. To walk between light and dark is to accept that both exist within you, and that neither defines you. It's the ultimate rejection of control. The understanding that the Force isn't a moral compass. It's a mirror. Look at nature in Star Wars. The storms on Kamino, the fire on Mustafar, the life on Naboo. None of it's good or evil. It's all just balance in motion. Maybe that's what the Force really is. The natural order of existence reflected through sentient beings who keep trying to label it. And that's what makes Star Wars timeless. It's not just a battle between good and evil, but a story about how we define them. The Jedi and Sith are two sides of the same coin, both blinded by certainty. The Force sits between them, uncaring, constant, and infinite. So is the Force good or evil? The answer is neither, and both. It's everything. It's the spark that births stars and the silence that ends them. It's life, death, and everything in between. The Force isn't moral, it's existence itself. And the greatest illusion of all is thinking we can ever understand it.
Thank you for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that share button. My main channel is Critical Analysis Hub, where I post Star Wars content about the movies. My secondary channel is Critical Analysis Hub Plus, where I focus on the shows of Star Wars. And my third channel is Critical Analysis Hub XP, where I post comic books. Be sure to take a moment and check them out. Thanks, and may the Force be with you.